You know, I just want to make something clear here. We don't support outsourcing. And I hope people also recognize that, you know, Matt's taking jabs at me. I hear those jabs. But you know what? One gentleman told me a great statement, and I think it's pivotal to Ronald Reagan. You can control how you treat people. You can't control how people treat you. And that's what we have to do in American government again, is that we can control our own reactions to how people are treating us, and I can control how I treat other people. So you won't see us engage in these jabs or these quotes or anything of that nature. Bottom line, when it comes to our education, is we need to empower the teachers once again. We don't support No Child Left Behind because it absolutely forces us to teach to a test, and that's not good. What we need to make sure, and this goes to our consistent with our philosophy of government, when we talk about deferring to the state and local governments to deal with the issues that are unique to them, because each classroom is unique. Each student is unique. The teacher has to have the ability in that classroom to adapt his or her curriculum to make sure that their students are being taught in the best way possible. So we would always defer to the state and local when it comes to educational policy. I don't believe setting it at the federal level. When you manage it at the federal level with a bureaucrat and a cubicle trying to do a one-size-fits-all when it comes to our educational institutions, it is not a good policy, and we don't support it. Matt touched on the issue of charter schools. I want to make my position known on charter schools. We support charter schools because it also goes back to the philosophy of I trust you as individuals with the fate of your children. I trust you to make the decision as to what school is the best school to send your child to. And I also believe that a free market principle will drive the other schools that are not performing because people are choosing to send their children to other schools. Those other schools are going to raise their performance levels because they're going to be competing with the schools where the students are going to.
Thank you very much, Tom. The next audience question will start with Tom Brady. The question is, do you favor the purchase of health insurance across state lines?
Absolutely. You know, we talked about it over the campaign trail. We're firm believe in the free market system. Believe that the sale of health insurance across state lines is a great example of competition, free market principles that will drive down costs when it comes to health insurance. But I do want to go back to something that's in the Obamacare, and previously it was stated that there's not much we can do when it comes to our property taxes here in New York State at the federal level. There's one thing in Obamacare that concerns me, and there's a provision in those 2,500 pages of legislation and regulations that are coming out right now that talks about the level of services for Medicaid cannot be changed post the date of enactment of that health care bill. Now, some have interpreted, and the concern that I have is that could be interpreted to say that New York State, the level of Medicaid services that we provide, which is the catalog of Medicaid services across the nation, now cannot be changed by the state. That's a great concern to me because now we at the federal level just handcuff our state officials to try to deal with an issue that's bankrupting New York State, and I get great concern about that provision.
All right. Matt Ziller on the issue of insurance across state lines.
Sure. Glad to see you on the health care. You said you wouldn't. You know, actually, I'll just say it right up front. I said in my opening day, I support cross state lines. I think it's Geico can save you 53% on your car insurance because they have to compete across state lines along with, you know, Progressive and State Farm. But you talk about, I'm saying jabs. I consider them to be public service announcements, especially considering what happened to our last congressman. I think that people should know who funds your campaign, and I think that people should know that they do support outsourcing because you said you opposed the bill that went through the Senate that would have ended the practice and replaced it with a process that I've been talking about all night, which is insourcing. And I think that we need to know who you're taking money from because I think it's informing your decision. I think it's what's actually making up your philosophy and your opinions. Now, I'm not taking a dime from corporations. I'm not going to take a dime from corporations throughout this campaign because I work for you, not for them. And I think health insurance should be sold across state lines because I do think as long as it has a base level of care, it will actually lower costs. And I'm willing to say I disagree with my party on that issue. I'm not wrong.
This next question from the audience will start with Matt Ziller. question is, what are your thoughts on how the U.S. can succeed in Afghanistan?
This is personal. My cousin Brian is currently sitting at home in the province. He's a Marine. I lost friends over there. I just got back last year. We have to recognize that, and Tom and I are going to agree on this, that the Taliban and Al-Qaeda constitute a credible national security threat to the United States of America. And it's not just the groups themselves, it's the ideology that inspires them to fight us. When I was in Afghanistan, I ordered all of my soldiers to carry around boxes of pens and pencils. And you're saying, why is that important? This is how we win the Afghan war. This is actually how we win the quote-unquote war of terror. See, terrorism is a tool of the desperate. You need to want to use it to address your grievances. Well, in Afghanistan, the Taliban count on people being illiterate for future recruits. In school is where you learn how to read and write. It also allows you to be able to access independently the marketplace of ideas. See, I think we should take our lessons from past history, which is that in 1950, this guy named George Kennan, the military truman guy in Moscow, wrote what's called the Long Telegram. And in it, he said, communism is sowing seeds of its own destruction. I think the same holds true for Islamic fundamentalism. I think if you put the ideology that inspires people to fight on behalf of Al-Qaeda and the Taliban versus what Western civilization can offer, what people who live in peace together can offer, it's going to lose every day and 5 times on Sunday. But to do that, we need to be able to teach people how to read and write. And I think that's how we win the Afghan war. We also have to, by the way, restructure the Afghan government. It's currently not representative of its people's needs. And we need to make sure that an Afghan security force is developed that can protect its nation from foreign threats and from domestic insurrection.
Thank you. The question on Afghanistan now goes to Tom Reed.
Yeah, first off, and I've expressed this to Matt before, I've applauded your service, and you know how I feel, and I definitely from day one, I've always respected that, and I really respect your service there. And I think there's a lot of agreement between Matt and I when it comes to the issue of Afghanistan. To me, the mission in Afghanistan is not completed. We have a threat that still exists when it comes to Al-Qaeda, when it comes to the Taliban. And until that threat is annihilated and removed, would I take the position that it's now time for the troops to come home. I also take this position because I'm very sensitive to the alliances that we are building in that part of the world. Because we have to recognize that the terroristic threat, be it Al-Qaeda, Taliban, it's going to rear its head again in our world. Because this ideological war is going on, and it's going to continue to go on. It's going to be annihilated in Afghanistan, Pakistan, but it's going to pop up in other areas, and it may very well reestablish itself in that area. So we have to make sure that we protect our alliances with countries like Pakistan, with Afghanistan, so that when the need is there to deploy our troops, that we have the platform on which those troops can be deployed to take on that national security threat over there rather than here, because we can never, hopefully never, not never suffer another 9/11 on the soil of America. And so I recognize that this comes at a cost, not only financially, but it also comes, it's very humbling. And we're talking about sending young men and women into harm's way, and we're losing some of those men and women. And it's a very humbling, and I take it very seriously, and it's a personal responsibility that we will deal with as your next representative, but we will deal with it always with recognizing national security threats must be dealt with when it comes to terroristic threat there rather than here.
All right, thank you. We'll start this question from the audience. Tom Reed. The question is, do you support federal spending on high-speed rail?
We've taken, our position on federal government, limited federal government. We do see federal government having a role in national security and infrastructure. At this point in time, however, when it comes to the infrastructure of high-speed rail, we don't support it. And I come at that conclusion from, as mayor of the city of Flint, I know that our roads, water, sewer are in a failure situation. When we first came into the office, I knew traveling those roads that they were failing. But we really wanted to get my hands around what the problem was. So we asked our Department of Public Works people to go out and map the condition of our roads, water, and sewer, go out and map and give you the age of how old those facilities are. And if there was a shade of red, it was 80 years or old. Well, something like 80 85% of that map, almost 90% of that map, came back in a shade of red. That meant our infrastructure was well over 80 years. And what I'm talking about here is we have to prioritize where we're going to make our infrastructure investment. Right now, until our infrastructure, civil engineers are rating infrastructure in America at a D+, almost found. You cannot have economic development with infrastructure failure at that level. So to me, it's something that has to be put on the back burner and address the real issue, and that's our water, road, sewer, and our other infrastructure in our local municipalities.
Thank you.